What's poppin', you guys? It's your girl Joty K, and this is Joty K Uncut on Ruckus Avenue Radio on Dash Radio. Today we are going to be talking about something a little serious. So I talked about an incident, I want to say 2 weeks ago maybe, about douchebag Dilpreet Singh or Dylan or whatever the fuck his name is. And I was talking about how I worked with him. I was just mentioning my experience with him and how he was a douchebag because of the stories that were erupting about him beating his wife, which were obviously real stories. And then I kind of briefly mentioned in there about the director, Sukh Sanghera. I didn't realize that I wasn't the only one that had a uncomfortable experience. I released my podcast and then I start looking on Twitter. I love Twitter, Brown Twitter. Shout out Brown Twitter. We are the judge, the jury. We are popping. I think Twitter is more popping than Instagram. So I'm on Twitter and Sukh Sanghera is trending. And I'm like, what? So I start paying attention. I see little posts here and there about like him being a pervert. He's disgusting. I already feel that about him. Then I get a couple messages from some random people. They send me, there's a Instagram called the Kaur Movement. Please follow her if you are human and have morals. It's a little hard to follow her because it just shows you how disgusting our community, our men, and our industry is. But anyways, back to the topic. So they sent me some messages and they're like, hey, Joty, you were talking about this in your podcast 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, okay, cool. I was talking about it. Didn't think anything of it. I got another message. Didn't think anything of it. And I just start seeing like a bunch of stories erupting on Twitter and a lot of messages that I'm getting. So I start kind of like researching further because my story wasn't as, I want to say, deep, but I guess it could have been. So I tweet, saying like, I'm glad that all these women are coming out and I hope that there's no more victims. And I didn't really know in depth what he did, but I knew he was hitting on these women. So then I put it on Twitter and I have a lot of people respond saying, thank you, this and that. And then I get a message on my jotykworld.com website, and it's an anonymous message. And this woman talks about another prominent person in our industry, somebody that I know, somebody that follows me on social media. But this person doesn't leave their real email, their real name. I will briefly read the message and I won't say specifically who it is because I feel like before you put somebody on blast, you have to have proof. As for me, when I put Sukh on, on blast, I want to say, it was because I had a personal experience. So I can speak. I have no reason to lie years later. I didn't even know that these stories were emerging. So, okay, I found the message. Yeah, I didn't even, back then I didn't really think that much into it, and it's sad. It's because we as women are so used to these brown men being perverts and nasty that sometimes we don't act like we should. We don't take further actions as we should. We kind of just brush it off and we're just like, oh, disgusting. Don't want to talk to this person ever again, or block. Boom. Don't really talk about it. Okay. All right. I found it. So the message's subject is a name that I know, and it goes, I'm messaging you on here because I don't want this guy to track me down and harass me again. Sorry, I would left an email too, but please understand, I just can't take any risks. With the whole Punjabi Me Too going on, I want someone who isn't afraid to put this guy on blast. He goes by the name Blank. He added me on social media and would ask me to send him headshots and demos for me to work in films and music. I was naive back then and figured this is how it's done. And then this guy would call me, and one day he asked me to meet him in a hotel room with four of his friends. He asked me if I could bring some friends of mine as well, and we could all party. I said no and ghosted him, but he sent me threatening messages about he booked the hotel room for us, aka for him, for me, and to advance my career. Then said I won't ever make it in Punjabi cinema, and even threatened to blackmail me. I'm sure so many other girls have been quote unquote discovered. I can name so many based in Southern California alone. I have stories as well, but this guy is disgusting. Did I mention I was only 17 at the time? This is why brown girls have trust issues and hate brown men. Thanks for listening, Joty. I'm just hoping these scumbag skeletons come out. He turned me off from the business because I was not going to deal with that. So I settled for a career in human resources. At least there I can enforce workplace rules. So I thought about it. I was like, this person, I felt for her. I don't think she's lying, but in today's world, you got to have a little bit of proof. You got to have, I got to talk to her more in depth, and she didn't leave me email or nothing. So I wrote on my Twitter and I said, hey, whoever sent me the message, please hit me up again. I need more proof. I need you to, I won't expose your name. Like, let me know who you are so we can figure this out. Like, I want to help you. I get another message and it says, I'm sorry for putting you in this position. Again, no email, no name. I guess your platform is a lot of ours, except, well, so many of us are afraid to speak up. I admire what you do and how you do it, which is why I felt safe enough to send you a private message. I'm not sure how or where to look for any evidence. It was all phone calls, voice messages, text messages from almost 5 years ago. My number, place of residence, even career has all changed. I apologize for wasting your time, but I appreciate you acknowledging it. I can for sure tell you this is something I would not lie about. I have held it in for so long and finally had the courage to speak on it, even if it was with someone I have never met but follow. I have nothing to gain from lying about so and so. That piece of shit's karma will come for him one day. Thanks for the great content, by the way. I appreciate it. And I understand from 5 years ago, it's really hard for you to find some shit. Like for me, all I have is my word with Sukh, right? Well, that's all I thought until I found out that he's done this shit with so many people. So I would, I try to dig up some messages. The person that she was talking about, I try to dig up some messages to see if this person has ever messaged me. He has. He never really said much. It was a lot of like, hey, hello, we should keep in touch, like just shit like that. But that, you know what I mean? Whatever. It wasn't any hard evidence for me. In today's world, you can get in trouble for defamation of character. So if this girl is listening, I want you to know that I do want to help you, and I promise I will not expose you. I just need more from you, And if you do know other women that have been affected by this man, please do have them reach out to me at least, or somebody that's ready to speak out. I would love to help you, especially because I do know this man, and I'm against any kind of sexual predator behavior and any type of like, what do you want to call it, blackmail, because I feel like men try to scare us by saying they're going to tell our family, or they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they're going to expose us, they're going to leak our nudes or whatever, you know what I mean? So I understand, but honestly, you can save somebody else. What if something like that's going on with somebody right now? So if you are listening, please, please, please reach out to me, or have somebody that has gone through that experience reach out to me. I would not expose your name, I promise you. So where I'm trying to go with this is, I didn't know what to do because one, this hits close to home, the person she's talking about. And then two, because it hits close to home and I don't have hard evidence, there is a movement page, Car Movement, that is a licensed social worker. One, I am not. I'm just a very opinionated brown girl. And I sent her the messages and I said, I think you would be the appropriate person to handle this. Can you, take it from here? Tell me how I can help you. So then we kind of start talking. We start going back and forth. And she tells me that she appreciates me speaking up about Dilpreet and my experience with Sukh. And she said that a girl reached out to her because she listened to my podcast. And that actually made me feel good that I made an impact and made somebody want to, reach out and get some help. But what I got to find out after I talked to her was a lot of stuff in depth, and it really irked my soul, and it really makes me angry at our community. And I already talk a lot about how our women are suppressed. Like, we're supposed to be a certain way, we're supposed to be timid, we're supposed to be like this. And we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back from the break, I'm going to explain what she had told me, and we're going to elaborate on that. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back from the break. Before the break, I was telling you guys about a message that I got on my website. A woman was talking about her experience with somebody that I'm not close with, but lives in the same states, industry, whatever. And she was telling me her experience, and she doesn't want to release her name. She didn't have evidence because it's been about 5 years. And I want to help her, but I do not know how if I don't have any of those things. You know what I mean? I do not think she's lying. She's lying. I don't think she would gain anything from it, especially when she's not in the industry now. She said she works in human resources now. So there's no gain for her. You know what I mean? But, I want to help her, and I want to help other people. So in order for me to do that, I need some more info. So I reached out to Kaur Movement, which is a great page to follow. She's a social worker, and she's trying to help our women in our community. So I reached out to her, and she told me the same thing, that she needs to talk to her more in depth and let that girl know that we're willing to help you, but we need some more from you. So then and she told me that when I was talking about, on my podcast, I talked about Dilpreet and Sukh. She said that made another girl reach out to her. So I was like, good, I'm glad, I'm glad that helped. And then she kind of started telling me that Sukh Sanghera is threatening these women that have came out, calling them, harassing them, but like threats, probably like, I'm going to tell your family, I'm going to make your life miserable, blah, 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 whatever shit, like bullshit like that. And these women are backing up, yeah, I guess, from speaking up now because they're scared. He scared them. And then another story that I heard she told me was the wife, he has a wife, by the way, and kids, that the wife was like, okay, well, that's your problem. Go get some help. Go get some counseling. I've heard these stories before about my husband. And that kind of bugs me too, because as a woman, if I was married to somebody like that and I was hearing stories like that, I would want to get down to the truth, and I wouldn't want to be married to somebody like that. I don't care. My children don't need to be around somebody like that. I don't need to be around somebody like that, but that's me. I'm a whole different breed. And, I don't know the lady's circumstance. I don't know what they have going on. But as a woman, I disagree with her logic. That's where I want to elaborate on the fact that why should these women feel threatened for coming forward? Why should they be scared? Why should they go just seek help and figure it out? Why aren't we doing anything about this? Same reason why, going back when when he hit on me. So basically, he was sending pictures of myself, sending pictures of me, sending hard eyes, and saying he's going to put me in another video. And I was just like, ew, disgusting, block, delete, didn't really talk about it. Here and there, I would say stuff like fuck Sukh, but didn't take it to the next level because he didn't touch me. He didn't do any of that. And why does it need to get to that though, right? Like something like that is what needs to happen for us to speak up about it. So for example, I was reading some of the stories on Kaur Movement's page, and let me read you one of these stories. So Kaur Movement says she's also getting threatened. And that's what our men do, right? When we speak up, when we are willing to go against everybody for our own, women especially, you start threatening us, you want to ruin us, you want to hack us, you want to go for our family. You're going to ruin our family. What are people going to say? Yada, 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 yada. Whatever, bro. If you have morals, not the girls that are the victims, I'm talking about family. So if you're going to tell my family that, you know, you're going to do this, this, and that, if I come forward about you sexually abusing my niece, my daughter, or something, and I'm going to keep hush hush about it, shame on me. Shame on me. What a disgrace to a human race. So anyway, so Kaur Movement's getting threatened, and she said about, long story short, 34 girls came out. 21 of them have shown her evidence out of those girls. And it's kind of like the R. Kelly situation. 1 could be lying, 2 could be lying, 2, 3 could be lying, 10, 15, 20, same story. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Like, there's some dumbass commenting me on Twitter saying, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Like, bro, why is every story the same? Us being brown girls, you know, we do not gain anything from exposing these motherfuckers at all. What are we going to get? Fame? No, this is not Hollywood. Okay, this is Indian people. You really think these women want to sacrifice, you know, being talked shit about and have their parents be talked about, which they shouldn't, by the way. And you think that they're going to gain something from this? Like, come on. So anyways, so one of them, one recent female told Kaur Movement that she had sexual intercourse with him and tested positive for STD. That's how disgusting this motherfucker is. And then another one, he was basically, here it is. He was like, okay, so she was working with this guy. This girl said, you are very pretty. I will give you work if you sleep with me. And was sending nasty half-naked pictures on Snapchat. She said, when I confronted him, he said, Dekda kaun kam dinda tenu industry de vich. Who's going to give you work in the industry? Because she started talking shit. That I have no talent. He knew I was vulnerable, so he thought of taking advantage of that. These things mess you up mentally, and I had the same impact. I think for the longest time on shoots, I was not able to trust my directors, co-actors because of this incident. Even if they were being genuine in my head, I was like, what if they do something like what he has done? It took me a while to overcome those feelings. This guy uses his power. If you have worked with him or know him personally, you will know how rude he is. And then he said, I'll give you a chance in the movies if you sleep with me. I never spoke about this because I didn't know there are other girls too who have been through this. To be a part of this music industry is not bad, but you have to keep your head strong and say no to things which you think are not right. Not every director is like him. I have worked with many till date, but he is someone who will do anything to sleep with other girls. He is married with a kid. I urge every girl to come out and speak up. Okay, and then here's another girl. I always wanted to be a model or an actress, so I decided to email a few music directors because that's where a lot of people started from and made their way up. Unfortunately, a lot of them turned me down as they said they don't work in the UK. The director that didn't turn it down, he said he had a team in the UK and that he might be coming soon. I told my friend about this, that he makes music and sings too. My friend then told me this director is dirty and will probably take advantage of you as he was in the casting couch. But I told him I don't think he will. I'm talking to him like if I were to talk to my brother. But I wish I listened to him now. By the way, I emailed them in August 29. I emailed them in August 2019. I also found his number on Facebook, so I decided to WhatsApp him so he had my number. So a couple of months went by, but I really didn't hear anything from him. I didn't actually know what to do because I thought this guy was going to be the one who changed my life and actually help me and uplift my career. In November, February 2019, he messaged me, but then deleted the message. So I was a bit confused, so I messaged him back saying, did you say something? He started having a conversation with me. He said he was in England, which I was so happy because I thought he might actually have work for me. We had a basic convo on WhatsApp, and then he added me on his Snap. This is where I got weird. I didn't reply for some time as I was at work, but I didn't really expect him to say what he said to me. He said word for word, you're cute, I like you, let's meet up and get to know each other, and then maybe you can work with me. I honestly was so speechless and felt so disgusting after, but mostly scared. He carried on telling me how pretty and cute I was, and I kept ignoring it. He also kept asking me to meet him alone, which was really scary. He told me we can get a hotel together. He paid for my Uber. I honestly was so shook to my core because I didn't expect this. I didn't know he was after sex. I legit thought he'd help me. I kept calling him brother, and I had him make up a lie and saying that I'm engaged, but he didn't care. He still carried on. On Snapchat, he said word for word, all my friends call me gay because I'm 29 and a virgin. At this point, I knew he was lying, so I ignored him. And he said, can I send you a snap of it standing up? Oh, disgusting. He asked me 3 to 4 times. I was on the call to my friend telling her everything because I said to her, I want to expose him because he might be taking advantage of other girls. And then she told me to take screenshots for proof. As soon as I got on Snap, he blocked me on there and WhatsApp. Another girl's experience. Same situation. I don't want to bore you guys to talk about it. Go on Car Movement's Instagram. So long story short, so she told me some stuff in details, like so basically he picks girls that are timid. Some come from India, are new to the industry, are young, easily manipulated. Going back, Dilpreet, same thing, married a girl who was easily manipulated, young, and girls that want work. And he abuses power. And now he's threatening these girls, telling them, if you come forward, I'm going to do X and X and X. And these girls are scared of coming forward because of these reasons. Let's talk about R. Kelly. Some of these girls didn't come out for the same reasons because R. Kelly had power. He was threatening them as well. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. These girls are not going to make it in the industry. Same story, R. Kelly story, right? Same situation, manipulation, okay? They manipulate young girls. And they're in the industry. They manipulate them by, telling them that these girls are going to make it. Then they make them feel pretty. Sometimes they go for girls that aren't, really, really pretty. Not saying these girls are not, because they know that they're not used to hearing these things all the time. So then they start complimenting them and boasting them up and making them fall in love and, things like that. So, and then one girl also was telling Car Movement that he was planning a whole family with her. And he had a whole kid and a whole wife. Like, are you kidding me? And what makes me mad is the people that start blaming the victims, okay? Why are we blaming the victims? Why? Let's break it down. We do not teach sex education in our community at all. When the fuck have you had a sex talk? Maybe boys have, wrap your shit up, only fuck them, don't get them pregnant, marry an Indian girl. That's a sex talk we get, right? Women, when a pervert uncle comes over. But the fact that, I've talked about this before in a podcast, the fact that you want me, a young girl, to go change because my uncle's coming over. When I'm wearing shorts, I'm outside playing basketball, I'm running around my house, I'm in a tank top, I'm not even fully developed yet, okay? And you want me to go change because an uncle is coming over? What? Why is this motherfucker coming over if I need to change? Why don't we think about shit like that? So then already in our head, we're used to these little pervert antics, right? We're like, brown uncles or da-da-da, they're just perverts. Me, I got hit on by Sukh, and did I say much? Not really, just a little bit on my podcast. But to me, I'm so used to these motherfuckers being predators that it doesn't even faze you sometimes. You know what I mean? So you're not even teaching your girls about people like this. Not saying, hey, honey, one day when you're going to grow up, there's going to be disgusting men out there. They're going to try to fuck you. But we don't want to talk about sex, right? The disgusting men. If a man touches you like this, honey, that's sexual abuse. That's sexual harassment, babe. You fucking report it. And if you don't report it, you come tell me and I will protect you. When the fuck do we say that to our daughters? When? Tell me. So when we don't even talk about this because sex is so forbidden, so I'm sorry I'm getting angry, but sex is so forbidden, and but we sexualize everything. Bollywood's fucking sexualized, so fucking sexualized. And that's one of the biggest industries in the world. We watch Bollywood movies with our fucking parents, but we're not going to talk about sex. When sex comes up on the screen, we're going to fast forward it or not talk about it and act like it's not fucking there. It's fucking there. Such a forbidden thing that these poor girls don't know what the fuck to do when they're in these situations, because you made it so forbidden and so like not talked about, and you never told her what's going to happen in the real world. You're over there telling her to put clothes on, but you're not telling her why. So how dare you blame these women? And then there's girls coming from India, and we already know what the fuck goes on in India. Like, they don't tell shit. They don't tell these girls shit. They get them ready to be a wife. They don't talk to boys. Don't do this. And when they get a little bit of attention, because they're not fucking used to it, and they fall in love and they fall in this trap with these dumb motherfuckers, then we're going to blame the girl because she's a whore, she's a slut. She doesn't have knowledge. She can't talk to anybody because what will people say? What will people say? Wow, oh my God, he touched you? Don't talk about it. What will people say? If somebody really loves you and he cannot be with you because you got sexually harassed, fuck him. You don't want to be with that person anyways. If your family can't protect you when you've been sexually harassed, fuck them. They're not a good family member to you anyways. Your cousin, fuck them. Fuck them. Okay? So, sorry, I'm like so angry about this situation. How are these girls supposed to know any better? How? We don't teach them anything. We don't want to talk about anything. We have all these rules. Rules, what, da. But what good are these rules when we can't even protect our girls? But we're going to go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back. Hey guys, welcome back. I just had a whole preaching moment. Like I was literally like going in. I was talking about Sukh Sanghera and all the stories that Kaur movement had on her Instagram. I mentioned a couple of them. And I was talking about how some of the girls were backing down of talking about these stories or being, bringing their evidence forward because Sukh is threatening them. And I'm talking about how, people blame the girls, like, why would she do that? Why does she have sex with them? But when we don't even teach these things at home, what do you expect our little girls to do? And I'm thinking as a daughter, okay? I am a daughter. I'll tell you a situation. I don't know if I've ever talked about this before. So I used to have a neighbor, okay? And my parents have never gave me the sex talk, by the way, obviously. I used to have a neighbor back in the day in the Bay Area. And I was a tomboy. I love playing, like going outside playing with boys. All my neighbors were all pretty much boys. Some girls, we didn't really get along. They were more girly. I was more, a tomboy. I used to like to go play next door when the boy was there because he had video games. He used to play Mortal Kombat. He used to have Street Fighter and shit like that. So one day he was like, he came over and he's like, Auntie G, I bought a new video game. Can Joty come over? And I'm like, Mom, I want to go over, I don't remember specifically how old I am, but I remember this. She's like, yeah, of course. Because my mom's trusting our neighbor, an Indian boy in high school with her daughter in elementary. So I go over, I'm playing video games. And then he says, come sit on my lap. Right. And I'm like, when you're young, like you don't really, something's wrong, but you don't really know because it's not talked about. So I go sit on his lap and, he kind of positions me, where on his dick, and I can feel it. It's weird. Never experienced that in my life. And he's playing video games and I'm feeling a little uncomfortable. So I move, and then he's like, hey, let's play Mortal Kombat. Like, let's act out the scenes. So there was like a couch, the TV, and next to the couch was a bed. I think the grandma slept in the bed in the living room. So we're acting like we're fighting. And he's literally putting me in weird situations. You know what I mean? Like we're street fighting and blah, 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 this and that, and weird situations. And I'm not feeling it. I know it's wrong. So I go home and I just kind of go in my room and my mom's like, what's wrong? How was it? Was it fun? And I didn't speak to her about it. I was like, yeah, I was fine. Why? Because I'm terrified. Like, what was that? Like, I didn't know what sexual harassment was then. I don't really know what just went down. And I was scared to tell my mom because I felt like I did something wrong. Why do I feel like I did something wrong? Why do these girls feel like they did something wrong? You know what I mean? Like, why? He did something wrong. Sukh did something wrong. Your husband did something wrong. The director you're working with did something wrong. But you want to excel your career, so you're not going to say anything about it. You're just as bad, by the way. But back to me. Why do I feel bad? I didn't tell my dad. I didn't tell my mom. And here I am talking about it. And then I remember he would want me to come over and I wouldn't come over anymore. My mom kind of caught on, but I think she just thought I was getting over it. Like I'm getting, you know what I mean? I don't really want to play video games anymore. I never even told my mom the story actually. And I remember seeing him when I got older and like my mom like introduced me to him or whatever. And I was just like so disgusted. Like, cause I figured out like what he had done to me. And I was like, hey, his name was Raja, by the way. I'll never forget his name. I was just so disgusted when I met him and he was married and shit. And I just started thinking all these crazy things like, I hope this motherfucker doesn't touch his daughters. Like I started thinking crazy shit like that. And then I had mentioned before another story about like my mom's brother who was like hitting on me, trying to tell me that like, you know, that about us getting married or whatever. I forgot what podcast that's in, but he basically hit on me and I told my mother and my mom didn't believe me because that's her brother, right? She didn't believe me. My dad beat his ass, kicked him out, whole drama. My mom was crying. Then I started thinking I was wrong again. Why did I tell my mom? Why? Now I made drama. And I felt bad. But there should be drama. That is drama. Kick his ass, kill him, cut his fucking balls off, put him in jail. But you know what I mean? Like as brown women, we start thinking like, oh my God, I gotta protect my family. I gotta protect, our izzat, our fucking respect. But what about our izzat? What about our respect? Who's protecting that? Who? If this motherfucker is threatening you, tell one of your brothers, tell one of your cousins to step it up. Step the fuck up. Go protect me. Protect me. We as brown women are protecting our family, their respect, their izzat, and everything. Who is protecting us? The fact that someone like Kaur Movement, somebody like me, who doesn't even have any relation with these girls, has to speak up for these girls? What the fuck are you guys doing? Why are you not protecting our little girls? Why? Why are you not talking about shit that needs to be talked about? And then you think about these people in the industry, right? So let's get into that. So you have this big ass platform, right? This big ass fucking platform. You're working with this director. I'm sure there's other situations. I'm sure other shit goes down. You know what's going down. So I was talking to Kaur Movement. A person reached out to her and said, yeah, I really feel for these women, but I can't really speak up because, I work in the industry. You're just as bad. Why the fuck are you even in the limelight? For what? What is your purpose? Okay, you're there to make money. Great. You're doing great. You're a great singer. Great. But what are you doing? What's your purpose? If you cannot, first of all, why would your career end? Why? You end the person that's doing these things. How would your career end? And the fact that you think your career is going to end, you need to fix that problem, because if you are not speaking up about it, something else is going to happen to somebody else, and the other woman's going to speak about it. And now you look like the bad person because you didn't speak up about it. I don't know if that even made sense, but you get what I'm saying. Like, you didn't speak about it, but somebody else will. Or, you know what I mean? And then afterwards, we're going to all find out that you're a piece of shit anyways, and your career is going to end anyways. And as for the men that think this is okay or participating in it, your shit's gonna come out. We're in quarantine. We ain't got shit to do but focus on this shit. So any girl that reaches out to me, I will do my best to help. I am no savior, but I am a human being, okay? And I've been through a lot of shit in my life where I didn't have anybody, okay? Did not have nobody. And now that I have a mouthpiece on me and I don't have anything to lose, you're gonna tell my family? Nah, my family's broken. My dad does drugs. My mom knows how I am, so I really don't know who you're gonna tell. I have nothing to lose. You know what I mean? So if you're going to come for me, I'm sorry, I don't have anything to lose. And secondly, I have morals. I have a reach and I have connections to the point where I can make shit happen. And the fact that I'm not even that big and I can make shit happen, what are your celebrities doing? Your brown celebrities. And I want to talk about something else. So, and then this is something that's way off topic. So one of my favorite songs is um this song Amar Sandhu re-sang it. I think it was like Tor Punjab Bandi by Sadhu Skandar, right? And then he said something like Sal Solma Chadya, right? A lot of songs go Sal Solma Chadya, which means she just turned 16 years old. Really? Our little folk songs that we've been singing, right? That we love so much. I mean, I never thought about this before. I was thinking about it when Amar was singing about it, and I was like, yo, basically he's saying like, damn, like you look fucking amazing. Cause that's kind of when you hit puberty, right? So when you hit puberty, you're usually around 16 years old and, well, not hit puberty, but you know what I mean? You bloom. So we're already like kind of prepping these men to be perverts. You know what I mean? We're already prepping them to like look at girls that are 16 years old. A 16-year-old girl isn't even fully developed, doesn't know life. Her brain isn't even fully developed. She hasn't even seen life yet, you know? So it's like, we're just part of a pervert culture. And, you know, and I don't think that's like everybody's fault. I mean, back in the day, I don't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know if morals weren't present or people didn't know age is really, it is just a number, but not when you're under like 18 years old. That's when age is necessary to pay attention to, okay? Um, so it's like we've already kind of created predators, and then we don't talk about sex, more predators. You know, when somebody tells you don't put your fingers in the cookie jar, don't have sex, you're gonna have fucking sex. Don't look at girls, don't look at boys, you're gonna do it. Sex happens, people. Sex happens. But sexual abuse is not okay. Okay, that is not okay. And people like Sukh should not be able to get away with it. And the people that keep saying, like, where's proof? Where's this? Where's that? More than 10 girls is proof, homie. You know what I mean? These girls don't have anything to gain from this. And you, Sukh, for threatening these girls, you're going down, honey. And people that still work with him and don't want to speak up, you're going to go down as well. There's karma. God's watching. You're going to have a daughter, or you probably have a daughter, and you should probably teach her about people like you and people like him. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back from the break. So basically, I was talking about how our culture kind of is creating predators from the beginning, where like we're talking about songs that this girl just turned 16 years old. She just turned 16 years old, like our favorite folk songs. And I didn't even realize that. But a 16-year-old is not a full-grown woman. I had a predator experience. So one of my friends checked me, okay? I had posted a funny video. Again, not thinking about it. It's that Jalebi song or whatever, right? And I made it where the song goes, baby, let me see it. It's like jalebi, jalebi. I just want to eat it, jalebi, jalebi. Baby, let me see it, jalebi, right? And then it's really popular on TikTok. RIP to TikTok, by the way, in India. I know that's all you guys had going for yourselves out there. So then I started thinking about how men, when you're like in bed with a guy and you want to go to bed, they're like constantly like, hey, get up. Like they put their leg on you. They start like, you know, kind of like molesting you low key, like putting their, you know, genitals on you. Unless I'm dating you and like I'm giving you signals that I want it, like you shouldn't be doing shit like that, right? But I didn't really, the fact that I even thought about this video concept is from experience, right? But I didn't really, it was a really bad, tasteless move on my end, but I own up to my shit. So anyways, so I posted it and I said, girls just be trying to nap. We know what you're trying to do. Ha, 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 la, 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 la. I had a couple girls message, like laugh at it, guys laugh at it. And then I was up for maybe like 10 minutes. My friend messages me and she says, hey, I know you mean well and I know you're trying to joke, but this is not something to joke about. You're making joke out of predatory behavior, and you're making it seem like it's okay. And me being me, I'm like, no, I'm not. What are you talking about? No, I'm not. Like, this is supposed to be this way. I'm actually trying to make it look like how stupid these guys look. Then she told me her story, and she said that she's been recently sexually harassed or abused, and a guy was doing that to her and pushed himself on her. And that's where I was like, I'm sorry. I didn't resonate with your situation. That was tasteless of me. I will delete it. If you need any help, let me know. Then I started thinking about it. And a lot of girls have been in that situation. Like, brown men, mostly. A lot of guys, though. I've had like a non-Indian person try to sleep with me forcefully. But brown men prominently, aren't used to hearing the word no, and are not used to women being strong and standing up for themselves. So when a girl doesn't want to have sex with them, like, for example, Sukh saying he's going to ruin her career, the guy the other girl messaged me about saying that he's going to ruin her career. Like, it's like they take it so personally. Why are you taking it personally that I don't want to sleep with you, bro? It's my vagina. It's my body. I don't, like, what's the deal here? Why are you so mad that I don't want to give it to you? Why do you want to ruin me because I don't want to give it to you? This guy that used to fuck with me, Punjabi bitches be like, I don't want to be with him, so he tried to ruin me by ruining my rep. And a bunch of girls came out saying that he was exposing their nudes. He was doing the same thing Sukh. Oh my God, he was doing the same thing Sukh was doing. I'm just thought about it right now. Wherever that motherfucker is. I wish I would have pressed charges on that motherfucker, or I would have done something about it. Anyway, same thing. He was threatening these girls. I'm going to ruin you. I'm going to get rid of I'm going to show everybody your nudes. I'm going to put you on this meme page and have everybody talk shit about you. Like, threats. Like, why are you guys so mad that we don't want you? Learn the word no. And it's not always like a disrespectful thing that we don't want you. It's just, we don't want you. Next. Learn to be a better human being and learn to be an adult and learn the word no. Okay? Not everyone's going to want to fuck you. Not everyone's going to want to date you. You know what I mean? Not everyone's going to want to see your dick. Okay? You already know how I feel about dick pics. So again, another thing you have to teach at home. No is going to happen. You cannot force yourself on a woman. That is actually sexual abuse. Okay? And I know there's women out there that have abused the Me Too movement. Yes, of course. There's always bad apples here and there. But majority of the stories are not false. Okay, you guys? They're not. And especially in our brown culture, you cannot deny that brown men are perverts. You cannot. You can't, dude. The fact that we look at uncles and have the term creepy uncles, that is ding, ding, ding. Why are we saying creepy uncles? Like, we laugh about it, but that's not really something to laugh about. That's kind of disgusting. It's not just, and then brown people, like, so the Mexicans that are working, same situation from small villages like India. Same thing, young girls getting married, a lot of poverty. Not saying India has a lot of poverty, but they do, I can guess. They'll be whistling at young girls by high schools. Same thing. We're so used to it that we're like, oh, here we're gonna fucking walk by these Mexican people, like, they're gonna whistle at us. Like, you start getting used to it. Why? Tell them, fuck you. Call the cops. Be like, fuck you, bitch. These fucking perverts are hanging out here. But we, as women, have gotten so used to these kind of things. We shouldn't be used to these kind of things. It's not okay. Do you want your daughter to be walking by and getting whistled at? Another situation. We were walking by a group of Indians. I forgot where. I can't fucking remember. Whatever. We were walking by, me and my friend, right? And we instantly felt like these men were going to stare at our ass when we walked by. So then we start like kind of putting our purse behind us and like feeling uncomfortable. Why? Why are we such like victims of like predatory behavior? Like, you want somebody to look at your sister, your mom when you're walking by, but it's so different when it's your sister and your mom. Like, no, dude, treat our women with respect. What's going on? And the men get so mad that we're like speaking up and shit. Like, what do you want us to do? Just be quiet and take the abuse for years? Like, no, bitches like me are going to come out eventually. Girls are going to finally want to speak up. And some people say, why do girls wait so long to speak up? Sometimes it doesn't really hit us. Like, the guy that like sexually abused me, it didn't really like hit me until where I was like, yo, that was fucked up. You know, my uncle that like kind of hit on me, like I was a little older. So I was like, yo, like, that's weird. This guy's going to be living in the house with me. Like, I don't want to be around this man. And, you know, when guys are forcing themselves on you, you don't really think just because this guy is somebody you know or you like, you don't really think that they're sexually abusing you, you know? I feel like this shit needs to be taught in schools. This shit needs to be taught in our house, yeah, our homes. And I think the support system needs to be better. You guys got to do better. Brown people, you got to fucking do better. These women cannot be scared. They're scared. What? He's sending empty threats to them so they can't speak out? Like, what? What? You shouldn't have done what you did. Shouldn't have done what you did. Karma eventually catches up to you. Eventually catches up to you. Jeffrey fucking Epstein, whatever the fuck his name is, he ended up killing himself. He was doing these things to women, and you start getting sloppy, and you start like, it's going to catch up to you. It definitely is going to catch up to you. What I do want to say about women that are going through sexual abuse or have gone through sexual abuse or think that it's too late. It's never too late to speak up. You'll definitely help somebody. I nonchalantly talked about my story with Sukh, right? Very briefly. And then this whole storm erupted. I'm not saying because it's because of me. It might have just been right timing. But, you know, and some girl, thanks to my story, came out. And then another girl, you know. And then the thing about Dilpreet's wife, she talked about domestic abuse, and another girl came out. You know, so it's like, don't think it's too late. It's never too late. Sometimes we are not ready at that time, you know. But also protect our women, protect our little girls, dude. They're our future. They, like, it really hurts my soul that girls feel like they're doing something wrong when they're standing up for themselves, that they're doing something wrong because, you know, they got abused. Why are they feeling like they're wrong? Be be compassionate. Help them. Have their back. What, you're gonna get talked about for having your family's back? You're more worried about what people will say? No, guys, no. We got to do better. Um, Sorry that this was a serious episode, but I was just really dwelling on it, and it just was really sad. And I know this is something that's going to take a lot of time to change in our community. It's definitely going to take a lot of time, but we're it's happening. We're starting. You know, a lot of crazy shit's going on in the world, and it's no better time than this right now for shit to be talked about. No better time. Our women are getting stronger. Our women are realizing that shit ain't right. And you know what? Shout out to all the men that are. I'm talking hella shit about a lot of guys, but there's guys out there that are speaking up for women. Shout out to you. There are guys out there that are protecting our girls. Shout out to you. But we all need to do that. And I love that the Punjabi Me Too movement is happening because it's so prominent. And if you are somebody that has a platform, a lot of you have bigger platforms than me. I just have a mouthpiece on me, okay? But, you know, you are a part of the problem. You are part of the problem. You not speaking up makes you just as bad. You were mad about what happened to George Floyd, right? Those cops were watching. They should be just as responsible. Ding, ding, ding. You're watching. You know what's going on. You're not telling anybody. You might be gossiping, but ding, 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 you're just as bad. And as for Sukh, his wife, I'm disappointed in her. Disappointed. But who knows? Maybe he's manipulating her too. You know, we don't know the story. But as a woman, I wouldn't want to be with a piece of shit like that. Hell no. And I feel sorry for his child, her, or if she's a she or a he, like, I feel bad because, you know, you're going to have to hear stories like this about your father. Yeah, that sucks, but that's reality. It is what it is. Our parents are not perfect, but our parents definitely should not be predators, and that is not okay. So yeah, so shout out to Car Movement. I'm actually going to put out a statement on Car Movement's page. I think this might air after the fact, so I might have already put a statement out. And I don't know how it's going to go. Like I said, my story isn't as severe, but it was kind of a similar feeling that I had. And if I can help somebody, help one person, two people, I've done my purpose with this show. So anyways, if you guys have any stories that you want to share with me, please do. Please message me. But trust me though, like, please trust me. I will not blast you. I will not post your name or your picture if you do not want me to. I will not. But let me help you. Give me information. I will not gain anything by exposing you or by talking shit about you or like, I'm not going to gain anything. At the end of the day, you will gain from me if you just cooperate with me. So um and I'm definitely going to be working with Car Movement whenever she needs me, 100%. Like, she's doing good on her own, but I told her, like, if you ever need me, I feel strongly about shit like this, 100%. So whatever she needs from me. So if you even reach out to her, you know what I mean? If I can't help you, she can. So I mean, other girls, there's so many other girls in the industry. I'm just speaking for myself right now. If you feel comfortable with me, please message me, please email me, and let me help you. So yeah. And then also there's a lot of sexual abuse hotline numbers. I'll post them on my YouTube, because I'm going to post this on my YouTube. And but sometimes it's just best to talk to somebody that understands, you know what I mean, who is in the same community as you, who has maybe gone through the same thing. And so yeah, so if you want to speak to me, please go ahead. JotyKWorld@gmail.com, Instagram JotyK, Twitter JotyK, Facebook JotyK. I try to check most of my messages. Email is always best because I have to check my emails. So thank you guys so much for tuning into my jibber jabber. I hope I maybe connected with somebody. Maybe I resonated with somebody. And shout out Ruckus Avenue on Dash Radio. I will speak to you guys soon. Hopefully my message on Car Movement does good. Hopefully I don't get death threats. And even if I do, I'm not the one. I am not the one. Death threat, give me death threats. It's not going to fit. It's not going to fit.